My wife got in an accident and it exposed her cheating. So I abandoned her at the hospital without any money, divorced and made her single and jobless. Yesterday, I got a call from the hospital that my wife, Andrea, 29 female, met with an accident. In my 35-minute drive to the hospital, I just prayed, Lord, my wife be safe. I rushed to the ER to find her getting treated. I felt relieved to know that she was out of danger and that it was not a life-threatening accident. The nurse handed me her phone and other belongings. I asked her if they knew how the accident happened. She said the complete details are not there yet, but they have informed the cops and they are investigating the car. The cops arrived and gave me a copy of their initial investigation. I was shocked to find that she was intoxicated, rammed into a parked car, and later derailed onto a sidewalk. Luckily, she didn't drive to the other side and hit the road. Otherwise, it would have been fatal. As the information about the accident unfolded, I grew suspicious. First, she was not supposed to be driving through the road where the accident happened. It was Wednesday afternoon, and she was supposed to be at work and not driving 25 miles away from her home. Second, why would she be drunk in the afternoon? The cops handed me the copy of the dashboard footage, and it suggested that Andrea was playing loud music and rash driving. The alcohol was determined during her medical examination. I was investigated for an hour. The cops wanted to know if she was depressed or had a fight with me before she decided to get drunk and ram into a parked car. I had to show them the chats of yesterday and the day before. She texted me in the morning yesterday, asking if I would come late or usual. I said usual, but if I think it's going to be late, I'll inform. She ends up with I love you and heart emoticon. I had no phone call with her after that for the cops to think I was behind her depression or dilemma or whatever it was. They asked me what Andrea was doing in the accident location where she was returning from. I said I had no idea. Initially, they did not believe me, but after an hour-long investigation, they let me go. They had no reason to suspect me. I was then allowed to meet Andrea. I enter her cabin and cuddle her. She was partly conscious. The first thing she asked me, "Where's my phone?" I was shocked. She was still under local anesthesia and pain, but all she cared about was her phone. I lied that it was with the hospital authorities. She seemed relieved. My mind was already fogged with the investigation report, and now her weird question made me even more suspicious. There were so many questions in my mind, but I decided to park it until she recovers. I cuddled her to sleep. Her behavior sparked curiosity in me. I pulled out her phone from her bag with the nurse had handed over to me. It was discharged. I used my power back up to charge it. As soon as I switched it on, it started buzzing with several notifications. I put it on silence mode. All the buzz subsided in a minute, but there was a continuous notification popping up from one chat. I couldn't read the message from the locked screen. Then there was a call from someone saved as Corner House. This is a small eatery at the corner of our block from where we regularly order takeaways and home delivery. But why was she getting a call from the restaurant so late at night? I kept staring at the screen, contemplating whether to respond or not. There were now some 5 back-to-back calls from that number with an occasional chat notification. I'm not an insecure person who goes around snooping into my wife's personal space, but the circumstantial evidence forced me to forget my morals. I unlocked her phone using her fingerprints. She was in a deep sleep under medication, and I spent the night sitting by her bed and uncovering my failed marriage. As I suspected, the chat notifications were from the same contact that she had saved as Corner House. Evidently, she had saved someone else's number with that restaurant name to safeguard herself if I ever happened to see the call or chat notification. If we were at home and I saw a call coming from Corner House, I would have suspected nothing. It came out that Andrea had been cheating on me for over 6 months or more. I checked a fair partner's number on my phone, and he was not on my contact list. I looked it up on a caller app and found his name to be Kevin. I knew no one was such a name. It's difficult to determine when it actually started. The chat history was backed up until 6 months back, so I'm guessing it is at least 6 months old if not more. The chats were outrageous and demeaning to me. It was disheartening to read how she was describing her desires for a fair partner while mocking my abilities in bed. She was telling him how I last for no more than a blink, and she has to fake her orgasm to keep me happy. They had been meeting every week and sometimes twice a week at their secret hideout. She met with an accident when she was returning from her effing session, and that explains why she was asking about her phone, and that's why she was drunk. Knowing Andrea, I understood that they had sex because she likes to have it when drunk, but I thought it was only with me, but there she is, going around effing men in a drunken state. Reading their chats made me throw up. She was sex to him all the time, and in the middle of the night, during her work hours, and even when she was out with me. The last time they sexted was when we were watching a movie the day before. I remember clearly she was cuddling me and we kissed and made out. I feel so gross to think that she was imagining me to be him all this while. There was no effing way I could have suspected that she was up to this. We had regular date nights, went on trips and talked to sleep. Sex was twice a week. Not sure if this was inadequate or okay, or how many times others do it. Having gone around surveying what others do, it hurts me to think that I was not able to keep her satisfied. Had she told me this, I might have figured out a solution. She never expressed that she wanted more or something else. I thought we were close enough to be brutally honest with each other, but I guess we were not. I stooped into her social media account but didn't find a fair partner out of there. Their only mode of communication was through chats and calls. How do I find him? Who the heck is this guy who has been satisfying my darling wife? I've been up the whole night. Now I feel dizzy, but the rage in me is not letting me sleep. I want to call a fair partner to the hospital and beat the crap out of him. I don't know what I'm going to do now. You just need to head out of here. Update 1. You know what? I left that whore of the hospital, threw away her phone, packed her belongings, and dumped it outside my house. I also did a couple of other things. I'll come to it eventually. I left the hospital and went home, but I was feeling very uneasy. I wanted to do something about my pain. I was racing inside the house thinking what to do while Andrea's phone was continuously buzzing with the fair partner's calls and texts. That son of a bee was concerned that she wasn't replying. I decided to fix that problem first. I opened the phone and started chatting with him as Andrea, pasting the text conversation here. Read Corner House as a fair partner. Hey, don't call, text me. I don't want to be with you anymore. Wait, why? What happened? Are you mad at me for something? Are you mad at me that I didn't stay longer? I promise next time we'll spend the day together. Why ain't you replying? Okay, talk to me first. We can sort this out. I'm never going to meet you and stop texting me. Can we meet today and discuss this? How about I pick you up from work? I'll tell Connie I'm working overtime. Okay, are you upset because my divorce got delayed? Trust me, I'm going to shove the paper to Connie this month. No, don't do that. I don't enjoy sex with you anymore. You are no more than just a toy for me. Your cock excites me no more. I found another cute guy who lasts longer than you. What? You're messing up with me, don't you? I'm not. I'm going out for a date with him tonight. Don't do this. You know I love you. One more message, and I'm going to tell your wife everything. You slut. The beeping stopped after that. Then I accessed her work email on her phone and sent a resignation letter to her manager, asking for immediate release. Here I replied asking for a reason. I responded to that Andrea, and pissed off with the toxic work culture. People that are crap, and the manager is a womanizer finding opportunities to grab booties. I also wrote that if he doesn't approve my resignation, I'm going to expose all the truth to the management. The resignation was approved within minutes. Glad I was a good listener. Listening to Andrea's work BS actually helped me today. I felt a small victory. So now she is jobless and single. I have nothing to do with it. She quit her job and dumped her lover. Poor girl. I took her credit card and swiped off all the little money she had. I even burned all her ID cards, passport, and bank documents and didn't leave a trace of it. I flushed the ashes. If she had to find it, she needs to scavenge the gutter and put it back. One victory after another. It would take her months, if not years, to get a copy of these documents from the government authorities. She would be on cast for at least 2 months. She can't go running to government offices to get these documents even if she finds out they are missing. She's going to face the first blow today when she wakes up from her slumber or sleep of anesthesia. I'm gone from the hospital. She doesn't have her phone. No one in her family or friends knows that she's in the hospital. She doesn't have her insurance details with her. I'm not saying she would be stuck at the hospital for ages. No, but she would have to struggle for every bit of it. She has no card, money to pay the hospital bills. Even if she manages to contact her insurance provider, She has no ID with her. She might take the authorities' help to call her parents or friends, but that's not going to be easy. Her parents live 5 hours apart, but see how her friends are going to help. After having a satisfactory smile pulling this off, I packed her clothes, accessories, and other belongings and kept them outside the house. Although in the middle of this, I got a call from the hospital. The doctor wanted me there to discuss the discharge formalities. I asked when are they going to discharge her? They said tomorrow. I said I'll be there tomorrow. Right now I'm stuck with other stuff. They said it would delay the process and they might keep her admitted for another day. I said sure, we can handle 1 extra day's charge. Good for her. After a couple of hours, I again got a call from the hospital. This night I was Andrea asking me to come. I said sure baby, I came home for a shower. We'll be there in an hour. Then I called up the hospital authorities, strictly instructing them not to let Andrea call anyone. My fragile little sweetheart needs rest. They assured they would oblige and would inform the duty nurse about it. Bam. Throughout the day, I got 4 calls from the duty nurse that Andrea was asking me to visit her and that she was getting restless. Initially, I thought I'd ghosted and immortally and I'm not going to come, but that would have made her switch to other people for help. So instead of that, I kept buying time and left her hanging. Next, I'm going to change my locks so that she's blocked from my house. I'm also going to meet my lawyer tomorrow and discuss my odds of getting rid of her without paying a penny. But that's it until now. Update 2. What a whirlwind it has been. I messed up with the hospital authorities for 2 days before ghosting them. They called me to clear the discharge formalities and take her home, and I kept borrowing time that I was out of town. Andrea got suspicious of my actions. Her phone was missing. I had told her that it was with the nurse, but the nurse would have informed her by now that it was with me. She would have added up the math and understood that I have discovered the truth. The other reason was that I had never neglected her. She knew that if not for any major reason, I could not abandon her in this state when she was in the hospital recovering from an accident. I played around for 2 days before ghosting them. But before that, I had collected all the evidence of Andrea's cheating from her phone and kept my lawyer in confidence. This was to safeguard myself if the hospital got the cops involved. Andrea called up her parents when she realized that things have screwed up. Her parents arrived at my door, yelling at me that I abandoned her daughter to die at the hospital and informed no one about it. I let them vent out before I showed them the sex, where their daughter was flaunting her sexuality with another man, and watched them mellow down. They were like, "Oh, we're sorry for what she has done, but this is no time for revenge. She needs you now. You took a holy vow that you would take care of your wife in sickness." What? Didn't she take a vow too that she would not seek any other men apart from me? What happened to her vow? Right, she has shoved it up her, but so I'm going to do the same. Vows my butt. They got infuriated by my words and stood up to leave, threatening to drag me to court. I said, on your way, take her trash away from here. My house has no place for her and her filthy stuff. They cursed me and took her belongings with them. I'm guessing they have taken Andrea with them until she recovers. As per the latest update by my lawyer, the divorce paper will reach her in a week. We're going to use her infidelity to get rid of her. Using her chat conversation, my lawyer also has made a case that she was potted with a fair partner to divorce me and rip me off financially, and I did everything to safeguard myself and not to harm her. So far so good. Waiting for the divorce papers to be served. Update 3. So the divorce papers reach her and she greeks out. She's still immobile, wrapped in a cast. She sent me hundreds of voicemails, some with threats, some with curses, and some with requests for a meeting. I ignored all of it. Then she sent a long, threatening email that she's going to sue me for destroying her IDs, emptying her credit card, and forging her resignation at work. I replied, "Chair, go ahead if you have the money and time to fight the case. It's going to take ages for her to prove that I had done all of this," what she was saying. "Remember, you don't have a job or money. If you drag me to court, I'm going to press a counter case of humiliation and infidelity, and I have evidence of these charges. Better suck it up and sign the divorce papers and get done with it." The threats and pleadings stopped, but she was not signing the papers either. She emailed my lawyer that she needs a meeting before deciding on her move. My lawyer suggested I meet her, but asked me to lay some ground rules. Meeting at a public place.
No premises. No ter violence.
And no physical contact, hugging or whatsoever. Also, Our conversation would be recorded so that she doesn't frame me falsely. If needed, my lawyer would accompany me or would be on a call with me. I relayed the instructions to her, and she agreed. My lawyer also suggested I try and convince her for out-of-the-court settlement to save money and time. I went there alone. Lawyer asked me to call him if needed. I set the recorder and sat there waiting for her to take the lead. She started off by saying, "You played smart. You did everything to destroy me, and you were successful too. I have no job, no money, and yeah, no man. He left me." I asked her, "So you were angry because I chased off your lover?" She said, "No, he was a loser and I was going to get rid of him anyways." Her nonchalant response made me crack up. I busted out and laughed her and she joined me in this. It took me to our pre-dating days when we used to discuss the men who would hit on her and would laugh at their pickup lines. Jokes on me. I got picked up at the end and became a subject of laughter. She said, "Why are you doing this to me with tears in your eyes?" I asked why she cheated on me when we had everything so beautiful. She had no answer. She said it was just for fun and it didn't mean anything. She was just fooling around with a fair partner and called him a simp man. I said, "Well, I guess I'm a simp for sitting here with you and talking to you after you went sleeping with another man behind my back." She said, "Oh, come on, let's move on from this." I said, "I'm being civil with you, but this doesn't mean I'm going to have you back in my life. I'm never going to forgive you. You hurt me, and it was a sheer betrayal. You mocked me and discussed our sex life with your fair partner. You even said that my small dick went halfway into you, and I didn't satisfy you." Tears rolled up in my eyes as I said this. This was nothing short of humiliation for me. She held my hands, cried, and apologized. I shrugged off her hands and yelled, "No touching. Stay away from me." She pulled back herself. I wiped my face and said that even if I forgive her, I cannot stop thinking that she was taking our sex life outside of our house and mocking me. Whenever I would kiss her or have sex with her, I would always think I'm not enough. Not only her, nowadays I think I would ever be confident with another woman. I would always think, what if she thinks the same as Andrea? What if I'm really not enough? She was again crying and said, "I didn't mean any of those things." I said to a fair partner, I said it only to take him in confidence. "You are enough. You kept me happy. I was a fool to get distracted and cheat on you, but I promise I never loved a fair partner but you. I never thought of leaving you. Please trust me." I said, "Trust you never." She pressured me, assuring that she would be loyal and would never lay her eyes on anyone else but me. I said, "Didn't you take this vow at the altar yet you slept with another man?" She was left with no choice but to sign the papers. She said okay and pulled out the papers from her bag and signed them with shivering hands. She looked at me with teary eyes while handing over the papers. I was also in tears. All my rage was now flowing out his pain. Everything is now over. We have known each other for more than a decade. To ease the situation, I asked, "So would you be running back to a fair partner now?" She laughed and said, "No, he doesn't want me anymore. He doesn't want to listen that it was you. He said he's not going to cheat on his wife for a flaky woman." Oops, too bad. With the pain and remorse she said, "But you'd be happy. You get your revenge. You ripped me off of everything. I lost everything. I guess I deserve it." We left after that.
No hugs, no goodbyes.
I just stood up and left. While driving back home, I was contemplating my actions. Did I go too far? Was I wrong on doing what I did? If not, then why don't I feel content after pulling off my revenge so precisely? I don't know. It's too soon to say anything. Need to soak at the reality that I'm divorced now. Gosh, I was a happy married man until a few months back, and now I'm divorced.
Yang,